You'd like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Belicio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Belicio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Belicio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at beliciofoods.com/careers.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning show right here on Main Street TV, where Adrian gave me a standing ovation when I came back this morning. He's so tired of not having me here. But no, this is going to be a really fun show today, and we hope that you all enjoy. We have a very, very special guest here in the studio, and it's our friend Chris Schmiel. And Chris is from Athens County, and we are going to talk about all things PawPaw today and the PawPaw Festival, which is coming up this weekend at Lake Snowden. And if you don't know where that is, the venue itself is worth talking about. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Of course. And you are a very, very busy man, as we've been talking off the air. And so we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to spend with us this morning. And so I guess first off, if I said PawPaw and you don't know what a PawPaw is, they are the little fruit that only their mother can love, because they are not, shall we say, the cutest fruit in the world.
Yeah.
But you are, it is amazing. You actually process pawpaws, which we can get to in a little bit. But pawpaws are actually what? The state fruit of Ohio?
State native fruit.
State native fruit of
Yes.
Ohio. So
Yes.
let's talk, Chris, about pawpaws in general for a minute. And then, because I would love to hear all about pawpaws, because I think a lot of people are like, the what? And they grow right here in our area. I know you've seen one out in the wild, you just don't know it.
Yeah, I mean, and people have them in their yards and stuff, and
Sure.
we have orchards of them as well. But it's North America's largest native tree fruit. And what's neat about them is they taste like a tropical fruit
They do.
because they're related to 2,100 tropical fruits. They're in this family called the custard apple family, which is Annonaceae. And I was actually a student at Ohio University, and I was in Mexico, and I was eating a cousin of the pawpaw called soursop, and
Okay.
I was really I was studying Spanish down there.
That's
And
cool.
I was like, man, these are great, and they have big seeds like the pawpaws have, and I was like,
Mhm.
why aren't we doing anything with pawpaws? Because before we started really working with them, I would say like most of these pawpaws just fell on the ground, rotted, and
Yes.
maybe possums, raccoons, groundhogs, everybody in the forest ate some, but a lot of them just went to waste.
Yeah, and
So
grew more pawpaw trees that would fall on the floor or the
yeah.
ground. And yeah, and well, if you've ever cut open a pawpaw, you would understand though why. And you brought some, so
Yeah.
thank you for that. But you would understand why um they aren't a lot of people don't process them in their kitchens. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, they have these big seeds. You can kind of see a couple spots there.
It kind of looks avocado-ish from here.
A little bit, but yeah, avocados have
But
more of a pit, but
yeah, these have like actual seeds all through them.
yes, and they are actually very high in fat. That's
Hmm.
one of the nutritional benefit, good natural fat. So yeah, I have a business. It's called Integration Acres,
Yeah.
and we are the world's largest pawpaw processors. So, and we've
Right here in our area.
yeah,
Who
and we've
knew?
pioneered, processing the pawpaws, turning them into products. We have frozen pulp we sell.
Yep.
So we do all the hard work. We
Yes.
take the skins off, we take the seeds out, then we freeze it. You can use it year round. I mean, one of the reasons why the pawpaws just don't last long. They turn black in a day or so, and they don't look very well. Uh,
Their mother loves them.
yes. So that's what we sort of were like, okay, we can turn that problem into the solution by, processing it, making it available year round. So we do the frozen pulp, but then we make like little jars of jam. We have salad dressing. We have a salsa. We make popsicles. We have soap. So we've
It's fun.
tried to do things with pawpaws.
So we kind of have the relationship through the brewing aspect
Hmm.
and the PawPaw Festival, which we'll get to in a moment, where the PawPaw Festival wants local breweries to brew PawPaw beers, which I'm going to ask you here in a little bit why they become so strong, but that's
Yeah.
a whole other story.
Uh-huh.
You can drink two Paw beers, and anyway, that's a whole other story. But and then you're like, okay, we have these cousins to this fruit right here in our native land, and so you decided you wanted to start processing them. How on earth? Because I know you all can't see it up close, but there's this fruit. It's about this like a small potato, but then it has all of these seeds all throughout it. It's not
Hmm.
like you can just cut it open
Yeah, it
and
takes some work, but
yeah. So how did you come out with a way to process these things?
well, um, it's not pretty, but we do most of it by hand. We take
You're
this
kidding.
we take the skins off, and we call it squishing,
Okay.
squishing pawpaws, and we kind of squish them out of the skins, and then we collect all the pulp that has the seeds in it,
Uh-huh.
and then we have this machine that'll take the seeds out.
Did you develop that machine or how did
No, no. It's kind of like one of those little Victorio strainers. I mean, there's different machines out there that you can use to,
Okay.
take out seeds and stuff. And
So I'm sitting here thinking that just have something and you throw the pawpaws in there and they magically turn into pulp, and that's not the case. You're doing a lot of work.
yes, so I live right on the Meigs County line,
Okay.
and so I get, I'd say, the desperate housewives of Meigs County to come over and help me mush pawpaws. Um,
Do you just look real sad and they come over?
No, we pay them. We
Or...
we pay
okay.
them. But it's some long days. And like
Sure.
this time with the drought this year, a lot of the fruit fell like all at the same time.
Oh my.
So we've had 12 to 16-hour days. For a couple weeks now.
Okay.
But most of the season is pretty much over at this point. This year, usually we're not even starting until now.
Right, right.
But with the exceptional drought, things really fell sooner than usual.
Well, and I think, yeah, well, and I laugh about this all the time. Jamie and I have an apple tree at our house, and we always take the apples every year and use them to do our apple prodigious, cinnamon apple prodigious beer that we do at the restaurant. And I'm like, looking at my apple tree this year, and there's just this poor little spindly tree with all the leaves have already fallen off of it
Yeah.
because they just dried up and shriveled. And there's just these branches with apples on them now, and it's really sad. So
Yeah.
I'm sure that weather certainly takes its toll on this, just like
Yep.
any other. But the thing is, where do you get the pawpaws? I know that you have some, obviously, like an orchard. Is it an orchard?
Yeah.
Would you say an
Yeah.
orchard?
We have an orchard. But it's been a long story. When we first started, I put out in the newspaper, I said, pawpaws, 50 cents a pound. You getting these phone calls, and a lot of them are like little old ladies, like in their 80s. And they're like, I've got a pawpaw tree in my backyard.
Oh,
So
that's so cute.
I'd go over there and meet Bessie or Esther, and you're like, yeah, my husband planted this, 30 years ago. And a lot of those ladies are, passed on now.
Sure.
A lot of those trees have passed on. We've had some trees die over the last couple years due to some weather stuff that happened.
Oh, okay.
And there's a kind of like a beetle that's causing some problems.
That's what I was going to ask you. Are there any like predators out there that are
Right now there's this thing called ambrosia beetles, and they're from Asia, and so they're not something the pawpaw's used to. So that, in combination with a lot of rain events that we had a couple springs ago when it rained a lot, that puts a lot of stress on the trees. The trees then basically, when they're stressed out, attract these beetles. And so
Okay.
we've lost a lot of the older trees.
That's sad.
So you got to replant and stuff. But, you can get fruit from seed in, 6 or 7 years around here. And we are really blessed with good pawpaw genetics. Okay, they grow native to the eastern U.S., but back in 1916, there was the American Genetic Association. They had this competition for the best pawpaws, and 5
That's
out of
funny.
the top 10 best pawpaws were from like Southern Ohio.
Really?
So we're blessed with pawpaws.
Okay.
And that's how we're able to do what we do. I mean, because there's literally millions of pawpaw trees, growing wild around here.
Sure.
And even this year with the drought, we've gotten a fair amount of fruit. And so we have a bounty on pawpaws.
Oh, that's so good.
And so a lot of people actually from Jackson bring us pawpaws.
Awesome.
And so, that is just, instead of them rotting on the ground, there's some economic activity, and people are making a little bit of money, and we're making pawpaw pulp. And
Yeah, and I think that's so cool. So Cheryl just walked in, and so here's the thing about Cheryl. Cheryl just moved here from California. And I have to tell her story all the time because Cheryl has lost her mind, and she found a house on the internet that she liked and didn't know where she even was moving. But they bought a house here in Jackson.
Oh, okay. Welcome.
And some land. And they moved here from California. So I have Cheryl on occasionally to tell us like the shocking things that she's learned in Southern Ohio that we do that, was not a thing in California. For example, burning your trash.
Oh.
Or
Yeah.
for
It's
example,
not legal, but
yeah, no. Not right, definitely not right now. What are some of the beans soup? She doesn't understand chicken and noodles.
Bean dinner.
The bean dinners that we have around here. So Chris here is also one of those dreaded politicians that we will talk about in a second too. Actually, no, he's precious, but you are a county commissioner there in Athens, so I'm sure that you've been to a bean dinner or two, or a chicken noodle dinner.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You run for office. It's a thing.
Gotta
So
show up and eat.
Cheryl was like, "What is a bean dinner?" So we had to explain that to her, and so I guarantee you've never had a pawpaw.
I have not had a pawpaw. We've actually been looking for them because we keep hearing about them. Couldn't find any.
Well, here you are. So Chris,
You're
so
mushy.
yeah,
Eat the
so
yellow part.
eat the yellow part,
Okay.
Cheryl, and you tell us what you think, and tell us what it tastes like to you.
Okay. Are they generally like mushy?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
they're
you don't want to
mushy.
eat them if they're hard.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
want them like
Kind of
that.
like a persimmon kind of thing. Like you don't eat it when it's hard.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely not.
We look at her. We've got her. She's trusting
She's getting
us.
trained.
She is. Yep.
Yeah. Ew. Hold on.
Okay. She didn't die.
Didn't die. Has a very interesting texture.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like, is it kind of ripe avocado-ish?
No. It's more like
It's not as creamy.
no. It's like like mango.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the texture of mango.
And do you get another flavor in there? Because everybody says they have 2 flavors. Mango's one of them.
Yeah, it has kind of the aftertaste of banana.
Yeah. Mango and banana are the 2 flavors that.
Yeah, we don't eat the skin.
Yeah.
You can, but it's a little gritty and has a little bitterness.
Yeah. What do you think?
Weird.
It's weird.
Yeah, they are weird.
Yeah. It's a little weird.
You had enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what? She
But I
tried
tried
it.
You
I tried it.
And
I
she
came
got
running in when I heard they were here. I'm like, yay!
Cool.
Yeah.
It's been on my list. So
See, now,
I would
see the
eat. I would
things
eat
that
it
she
again. I don't
learns.
know. I don't know if I'd eat it by itself,
Mhm.
but
within
maybe with other stuff or
Mhm.
So,
made
yeah.
into something. Yeah.
mix it with something. Well, we'll
Yeah.
get to the beer here in a minute. You have to have a
Yes.
PawPaw beer.
That I could probably do.
And if you want to have a real good time, you can have 2 or 3 PawPaw beers, and you won't remember what you've done for the past 4 days. That's a whole other story in itself. Hey, see?
What else can I make from them? Like,
So, yeah, that's a good question, Chris. I know that you said that you have some jams and things like
Mhm.
that. And I know, so at the PawPaw Fest, which will be this weekend, you guys actually have a cook-off,
Yes. Yeah.
like a cooking competition.
And we have like breads, desserts, sauces, and beverages are the different categories. Desserts like cheesecake, creme brulee. I mean, those are pretty popular. I know like cream puffs. The texture being custardy,
yeah.
they tend to people. The chefs tend to make that kind of stuff. But like barbecue sauce. I mean, anything that you want to chef with, it's just an ingredient to put in there.
I think it would make a good like ice cream.
Ice
Oh,
cream
ice
is
cream.
that's
That's a
that's
good
the
idea.
Yeah.
top
Like
use.
I love banana ice cream.
Yeah,
Banana flavored ice cream. So I could see it as like an ice cream or.
yeah. Ice cream's
Custardy kind of
very very common.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Or like
and
a
then, but
sorbet
really,
even.
most of our pulp really does go to beer right
Yeah.
now. I mean, and I would say all of that started at the PawPaw Festival, our festival, because we've been around for 26 years, but now there's PawPaw festivals like all over the place.
Oh, there are?
Yeah,
I
there's
thought we were the only ones.
yeah. Well, we're the oldest
We're
running
the OG
one. Yeah,
PawPaw Festival.
but
yeah.
there's South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia. They're all over. They're popping up all over the place.
You know what?
That's so cool.
I've never heard of a pawpaw until we got here.
You never heard of a PawPaw till you got here?
No.
Okay.
Despite traveling and everything, I've never heard of
Yeah,
one.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's just.
they're pretty esoteric still, but they are gaining in popularity. They don't grow them out in California too much, but actually, the very first year we had our festival, we had some rare fruit growers from California that came. They're from like Southern California, and so like they try to grow them out there, but I think they had some troubles with it, or it hasn't really taken off. But it's mostly they're native to the eastern U.S.
Okay.
So
That makes sense. Well, let's jump in and talk about the PawPaw Festival, which will be this coming weekend at Lake Snowden. And Cheryl, if you don't go, you'll be kicking your own butt for not, because this is totally her jam.
I love food festivals. Food festivals are like my thing. And so far, we've not been lucky on Ohio food festivals. We are 0 for 2 on food festivals.
So we're going to get her to the PawPaw Festival, and she's going to really enjoy it. But so the PawPaw Festival, you said we're going into the 26th year. Is that right?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. And here is this year's. There's always such good artwork. And do you have the same artist do the artwork every year? Or?
Yes, Kevin Morgan. He lives over in New Marshfield. Which is in Athens County. He's been our graphic
always so
designer
good.
from the beginning. So yeah, we really try to tie into nature.
Yes.
And
is that last year's that's on your
this
shirt?
one's a couple years ago.
Was last year's the one with the possum?
That
or
was
what
we had
hanging upside down, or
there was
something?
doves, but we've actually we always like a lot of these creatures.
It's always like this. Yes.
So yeah, this
Super cool.
groundhog is They love PawPaws.
He's
Groundhogs
enjoying it. Look at that.
And I actually have some really good game cam footage. I don't have it on me or anything, but like I had some PawPaws out back of our kitchen trying to ripen, and then had them showing up and just like that. They're just. And actually, so this year
so
I was
cute.
kind of inspired by the groundhog thing, and wound up like shooting and eating my first groundhog, which was really good actually.
Okay.
It's a lot like beef. It's like grass-fed beef. I mean, it was really delicious.
Cheryl just died over there.
So, they're cute, but they're tasty, and they're everywhere. It's a good groundhog year for whatever reason.
Well, I'm going to tell you, we were driving in. So at our house, we have a barn before you get to our house, about halfway down our driveway, and we've tried to evict these groundhogs, but and the foxes, and they come every year, and they have their little fox families, and then they leave, and then they come back every year. But this groundhog that we have I bet his rear end, I'm not kidding, is over a foot wide.
Yeah, I've seen some massive old groundhogs. Yeah, they're like little
white.
bear.
Yeah. I'm like, they look like little panda bears.
Yeah. They're pretty neat. I mean, they have because I've been like learning about them. They have like specialized ears and eyes, so when they're digging, like that's their superpower is digging. They've dug all underneath my barn. They're like the Viet Cong. Yes. I mean, they're like, you're not going to get rid of them. And they can dig like 60 to 70 feet underground. So.
Yeah. It's wild.
So, yeah, maybe one day you'll get to try a groundhog.
Cheryl, the next time Chris comes by, he'll bring you some PawPaw and groundhog to try.
Something you like combine together.
I didn't.
But
groundhog with some PawPaw.
I made like a real simple like groundhog like stew, and served it to all my friends, and everyone liked it. So
there you go.
But yeah, our logos, we always try to tie in nature a little bit, so we've had the possum and the raccoons, and so we've got more to come. Because like everybody seems to eat them in the woods. So
there you go. And we're just feeding our woodland creatures, and we're also feeding ourselves with these PawPaws. So the PawPaw Fest started about 26 years ago. And how do you know how it got started?
Yep. So I live outside of the village of Albany, and there was a kind of like a Chamber of Commerce group. It was called the Albany Business Community Development Group, and they were trying to figure out ways to bring people to Albany. And I was like, I was showing up to these meetings. I went to the village council and I said, "Would you guys make your official tree the PawPaw?" And they did. They decided to do that.
Well, it makes sense.
And so the mayor was on this committee, and I just proposed, like, hey, what about this PawPaw festival? Because there's no other PawPaw festivals. I think it'll be really unique.
Sure.
And so they went along with me. And on the first year, we had it in October, which was very late. It rained. It was just a one-day event. We had about 400 people at it, but we did have some people come from, like, these people from California came. We had the senior garden editor of Better Homes and Gardens, which is a pretty big deal.
That's a huge deal. How did you get out to them? How did they find out?
I emailed them, and they were this guy Craig Summers Black. He likes PawPaws too, so he came and was one of our judges. And we actually had a writer from the Washington Post. He liked to do stories about like hunting bear, and he liked the outdoorsy kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So he came as well, and so I think people were like, "Wow, this is interesting that we're getting this excitement about people coming in." And I would say the sketch of what our festival is still today was in that first year. We did the PawPaw cook-off, we did the best PawPaw competition, PawPaw eating competition. We had vendors, we had music, we had kids stuff. So yeah, that was back in 1999.
On just a baby scale of what it is today.
Yeah. So now, last year we had around 10,000 people.
Yeah.
And our biggest challenge is just traffic and making sure everyone's not being, just safe, that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's just a lot of people trying to get into the same place all at the same time off of
Yeah.
a busy highway.
Yes.
So
Yes.
be patient and you will get in and it
Yeah.
will be fine.
Saturday is definitely our, busiest day. So if you don't want to have as much busyness, come on Friday or Sunday.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah, and I've been all of those times and been there on a Friday night, been there obviously on Saturday, and then of course Sunday when we come to pick our kegs up and things like that is winding down, but it's still so busy. So it's still a lot of fun. So let's talk about just kind of some of the stuff that people can experience while they're there because I think what makes the PawPaw Festival to me so special is well, it's very special in so many ways, but is the local aspect of it of I mean, there's I don't know how many local vendors you have there and everybody basically makes or paints or crafts the things that they're selling. It's not like
yeah.
China called and they want their stuff back. Like it's
Right. Yeah. We
woodworking and bowls and
we have
it's insane.
standards, and it's like juried in. So yes, you
Okay.
have to be, good, the creator of the stuff. You can't just buy and sell other stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
It is unbelievable.
we have over 100 vendors, and they're not just all local now. Like people do come from other places. I would say one of the biggest differences with our festival is we have a lot of educational stuff.
Very much so.
We have a PawPaw tent
Yes.
full of people talking about pawpaws, all weekend. We have actually, this is a big new thing for us is you may have heard of Mother Earth News.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like a partner with us now.
Okay.
And so we have this tent full of things like living in the country kind of stuff, like killing chickens, processing chickens.
All the Cheryl stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have a processing groundhogs one?
No, we don't this
You
year,
should do
but
that.
yeah, I think that's a great idea. So there's going to be stuff like that in that we're calling it the Mother Earth News tent.
Sure.
And they're going to have a tent right next to it full of books and stuff. And
Okay.
so we are actually going to be processing chickens at the PawPaw Festival.
Oh.
You can sign up online to get your chicken, and then
okay.
There's like that's how like intense that it can be.
You're going to unalive them there?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, Cheryl calls it unaliving, by the way.
Yep.
You don't want us to get banned from our socials.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yes. So, and these
So
are
they're
people
gonna,
that write books about it, and there's going to be equipment there and all that stuff. So you're going to learn from the professionals. It is kind of exciting, though.
Cheryl, you may not know this, but chicken does not come from Walmart.
No, it comes from Kroger.
It comes from Kroger. Okay. She got me there.
Let's see. We have another tent called the Pollinator Tent.
Yes.
Because we had the butterfly, the zebra swallowtail butterfly, and so that kind of just brings up, and people love kids love that.
Oh,
and,
yes.
we have.
You have rides for kids?
Well, we don't have rides.
Or like things
we
for
have
kids to
kids
do.
stuff. We have a huge kids area.
Yeah.
And like bouncing stuff, but also like I don't know, boffing wars where they make these like weapons, and it's like they beat each other up.
Yeah, it's great. It's all the fun kid stuff.
We have a bike ride. We have a 4K. I mean, so we have like all kinds of different stuff for people to do.
There's something for everyone, I promise you.
Yes. And then we have all the vendors. So we have over 100 vendors. Those are just the non-food vendors. I think we have like 20 plus food vendors. All the food vendors have to have a PawPaw dish because we want to make sure that when people come to the PawPaw Festival, they get a chance to have PawPaw food.
I just got a text message from my husband that said, "I think I know what we're doing this weekend."
Yes, you will. This will be the best thing you've done in a long time.
I mean, I'm giving you my perspective, but I mean, we're pretty proud of our festival.
You should be proud of your festival.
Mean,
it's
awesome.
Like
last year we got featured on CBS Sunday Morning News. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like we've got a good. I think not everyone's going to be happy, but it seems like a lot of people like the festival and they come back year after year. I'd say one of the other things that's gotten better and better for us is the music.
Yes.
Our music coordinator, his name's Brian. He just is really into it. And our budget, you can spend a lot of money on music.
Yes, you can.
But he does a really good job for our budget. Now Friday night is sort of like our punk rocker night in a way, and
Okay.
this lady Olivia Jean is playing, and we have a Spotify playlist too. You can check it out on 2024 Ohio PawPaw Festival.
Oh, awesome! So you can kind of get a taste.
Yeah,
of
you can listen to
the
that.
artists.
So she is from Nashville, and she's married to Jack White from the White Stripes.
Okay.
So she's pretty funky.
Nice.
Yeah, so she's our big act on Friday night. But we've got some bands coming from California. This guy, Johnny 9-Volt or something like that. Yeah, he's playing after Olivia Jean. Eddie 9-Volt. So our Fridays.
He's either a singer or a gangster. We haven't decided, or both.
Who knows? And then let's see. Saturday, we like to have reggae music. And
yes, of course.
Now that marijuana is legal in Ohio, God bless all those reggae people down in.
They've been sneaking it for so long.
And then Sunday is more of like our bluegrassy day.
Yeah.
So that's our musical genres.
Let's talk about PawPaw beer, which is kind of my wheelhouse.
And then
how did that whole thing get started?
So
because I remember going to the PawPaw Festival before we had a brewery. And there was maybe Jackie O's had a PawPaw, and I think Weasel Boy had a PawPaw, and then it was just kind of that was it, and whatever. And now it's
yeah. So when we moved over to Lake Snowden, not long after that, well, a good friend of mine, Kelly Sauber. I don't know if you know Kelly.
Everybody knows Kelly.
Kelly was brewing over at Marietta Brewing Company, and he was just like, yeah, let's do this PawPaw wheat beer. And so Lee Township, where we live, or where the festival is actually a dry township.
Okay.
So we found out that, hey, we could get this F permit. And so that's how it started. Now Kelly doesn't make beer. He makes cider.
He does.
And cider is wine.
Is fantastic.
And unfortunately, we can't serve cider yet until we have to go to the ballot and get it to pass in Lee Township. So it's kind of a big ordeal.
Yeah.
But we're going to get there one day because Kelly deserves it.
He does deserve it because he has had his hand in this for a long time.
Yep. So it all started with Kelly
Yeah.
and Marietta Brewing Company. And, then it just sort of, Kelly knows all you guys, the local brewers. So we were just like, yeah, let's just do this. And it just kept growing. But it seems like that is a big feature now of the festival, everybody bringing their version of PawPaw beer.
It is, and the fun thing is now it used to be we do a PawPaw milkshake, and then Jackie O's does PawPaw wheat, and both of those are pretty high ABV. But a lot of people now are starting to bring a cream ale or something like that are are a little bit lower, because I'm just going to tell you, you drink a couple of ours or the Jackie O's beers, and you are, I don't know the scientific reason why you get so drunk off of them, because I know what the ABVs are, and we make plenty of beers that are that ABV that they don't affect you in that way. I don't know. I just feel like it, or maybe it's just you're just out and hot and whatever. I don't know. Or dancing around, or it's just fun.
Yeah.
But I can remember the one year I didn't realize, I'd had 2 PawPaw beers. I was like, so I went to the burrito buggy, and God bless this fella. God bless him. I said, dude, he said, man, I'm out of food. I said, I don't care. I need you to take that tortilla right there, that one, and I need you to just stuff some stuff in it.
I need
I need you to give it to me. And he just laughed and laughed, and he made me something. I don't know. It was the best burrito I've ever had in my life, and I don't know what was in it. It was just whatever they had left over. So, but yeah, bless his heart. He saw in my eyes. I was
Yeah,
I
the
need your
food
help, man.
vendors, they are usually slammed.
They
You
are.
know,
The beer lines, I have gone from, here to halfway across the park now. It's
well,
it's
this year
wild.
we're gonna have an extra beer can serving area.
Okay.
So, and because we're trying to get some people to go to this other section,
Okay.
we have a couple other tents. One's called the Energy Village, and it's like this. It's like sustainable stuff, like,
Yes.
and
And
then
that's very important for the festival too. I
yeah,
know that you all
that's a big part of our educational stuff.
sure.
And then we have a heritage tent, and so we're trying to get some other people to go over there, make sure they get over there. So we're putting this beer serving area right over there so that
Okay.
people will find it
Awesome.
while they're drinking beer.
There you go. So, yeah, I mean, so do you like to eat? Do you like music? Do you like to learn things? Do you want to learn how to unalive a chicken? Do you like beer? Do you like shopping?
Yeah.
Come to the PawPaw Festival.
Yep. Tons of fun. Lots of good people.
It is, and if you're saying, well, where is it? It's at Lake Snowden, and if you get on the Appalachian Highway from here and you drive toward Athens, I promise you're not going to miss it. It's right there in Albany. Lake Snowden, I think, is probably an underutilized, beautiful venue. I just don't. It's kind of like our Lake Catherine, things here that people don't. We live right in the middle of it, and people don't appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, the water level's down a little bit this year, but it's a great venue. Hocking College owns it, and there's a fish hatchery there, and a lot of people fish at Lake Snowden. Yeah.
Yep. So kayaking, I mean, all of that stuff. Plus, they have like the little water park there. Is that still there?
No, the water park's gone.
Oh, okay.
But they do have lots of pawpaws around the lake, so a lot of times people will, go pawpaw picking while they're at the festival. And
yeah. And, as part of, the vendors and all of that stuff, or is it you that sells the pawpaw trees? Or is that
we have lots of different vendors sell pawpaw trees. And yeah, there's cultivated varieties and, big trees, little trees, lots of options.
Yeah.
Okay, so question, because we're planting some trees and stuff on our property. Can you have a single pawpaw tree, or do you need multiple pawpaw trees in order to grow actual pawpaw?
Good question. So
Usually
Cheryl's
two.
asking whether you need a male and a female pawpaw tree, or if you just have one, or if they need pollinators, or
Okay,
how does
this
that
is
work?
gonna maybe a little interesting to you, but pawpaw flowers, they're sort of like trans, actually.
Okay.
First they start out female, and then they become male.
Okay.
So each flower is female then male. So, but you need two trees.
Okay.
So you have to
Cross pollination.
two pawpaw trees. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have to be like right on top of each other, or
if you have plenty of space, you want to put them like 15 to 20 feet apart from each other.
How big do they grow?
About in the full sun, they'll stay a little shorter than they would in the shade, but 30 feet-ish, 30 to 40 feet.
What does a pawpaw leaf? I don't even. They're big, aren't
they? They call them lanceolated leaves. They're sort of long. They're pointy at the end. They're actually like Better Homes and Gardens made them the landscape tree of the year back in 2000. They have a nice golden foliage in the fall. The flowers are weird. They're fly pollinated and they hang upside down, so they're different.
Okay.
But yeah.
When's the best time to plant the trees?
Now is fine. As long as you keep them watered until it starts raining, or the spring.
What's the best condition? Say I have my 17 acres that I live on here in Jackson, Ohio. How do I know? I mean, what is the perfect condition to plant a pawpaw tree? What do they want?
They really like sandy soil, if you have any. If you live in a,
we only have yellow clay dirt here.
Yeah. So, I would make sure, like, when you plant the tree, when you're digging the hole, you mix in some sand and some like pea gravel or something,
Okay.
And
For like
compost.
drainage, is
Yeah,
that what it?
because they don't like wet feet,
Okay.
and that's what happened when we had a lot of rain.
I gotcha.
Like the clay doesn't drain. That basically suffocates the tree.
Yeah, they drown.
Yeah. So they do really, really well along rivers, streams,
That makes
creeks.
sense. Okay.
But if because that's sandy, well drained soil.
Sure.
Those are, and like this year with the drought, that's where a lot of the fruit is actually. It's nice sized. It's not like, like in the drought, like a lot of small pawpaws, which
Okay.
not a lot there.
Yeah, that makes it even harder for you to,
Yeah.
you and the desperate housewives
Yes.
to process this. Well, I'll tell you what, Chris, it's been a lot of fun having you here today. Is there anything else you would like to tell our viewers before we let you get out of here and send you over to the radio?
Why don't we sing the PawPaw song real quick? Have you heard the traditional PawPaw song?
I have not.
Okay. All right. Where, oh, where is pretty little Susie? Where, oh, where is pretty little Susie? Where, oh, where is pretty little Susie? Way down yonder in the pawpaw patch. Picking up pawpaws, put 'em in her basket. Picking up pawpaws, put 'em in her basket. Picking up pawpaws, put 'em in her basket. Way down yonder in the pawpaw patch. Come on, boys, let's go find her. Come on, boys, let's go find her. Come on, boys, let's go find her. Way down yonder in the pawpaw patch. All right, there you go.
Yeah.
Come on out to the festival.
That's right, and we will sing it.
We will. Yes, it gets sung many times.
I love that. You're awesome. And if you have any questions about PawPaws or the PawPaw Festival, you can visit ohiopawpawfest.com. How would people find you? Again, Chris here has PawPaw. If you're thinking, man, I want to make some jams or jellies or sauces or whatever, you have it ready to purchase.
Yeah.
Frozen pulp.
Yes. We're integrationacres.com.
Integrationacres.com.
We'll be at the festival, and there'll be a lot of other people selling PawPaw stuff too.
Yeah.
So
it is. I think it's probably one of the coolest festivals around, and we appreciate you spending your morning with us.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Well, heck yeah. Come back anytime. We'll talk all things PawPaw again. And now Cheryl knows.
I do.
She's learned so much today. All right. You want to do the weather while we're switching out, or? All right, let's do our weather forecast. Jeremiah's coming over, and then Adrian's going to take you over to the radio.
All right. Thanks, Jen.
So thank you so much. Appreciate you. All right, and let's do that weather forecast real quick, where it is going to be a really, really pretty day today with some sunshine, highs of 79. Tomorrow, sunshine, highs of 85. Wednesday, highs of 88. And then I think Thursday, they were calling for the forecast I saw this morning. It was going to be very, very hot on Thursday, but that's not what that one's saying. A little bit of rain over the weekend. Shocker. It always rains on the weekend. And then we'll let you know as the week rolls on about your Apple Festival weather forecast, which can you believe it is coming up next week, Jeremiah?
I'm not ready, Jen. Not ready. Coming off the Hilco. I tell you what, I did a lot of napping on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I'm not one that does a lot of napping, so I must have just been exhausted.
You had a lot of stuff
this
going
last
on.
week just wore me down, apparently.
I
still feel tired.
Yeah, you do a lot of coverage of fairs and festivals. I got to get Adrian to put us back on the...
I can do it.
Oh, you know how to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. Jeremiah knows how to put us back on. Adrian had to take our guest over to the radio, so we will be back in just a second. But yes, Jeremiah spent his weekend covering the Ohio Hill Country Festival. And of course, it all ended on Saturday with the crowning of a new queen and some of the grand parade and some of the other things that happened. Did you get any good food while you were there, Jeremiah?
So,
there we are.
I was looking for my stuff, but I don't see my stuff there. I come in to talk about queens.
Oh.
Maybe it's there, and
maybe
I'm overlooking it. Maybe he's got it named something different than I would have named it. So I was up there. What was I up there? I was up there Wednesday night for opening night, and I was back up there again Thursday evening because they had the finalist contest.
Yes.
I didn't have anything to eat either of those days.
Maybe that's why you're tired.
But I usually eat Saturday when I'm up there.
Okay.
Because I'm there so long. So I had a Jackson County Ville from the Lions booth.
Okay.
And it was fantastic. Sometimes people over or under cook them. Yes. And this one, it was just perfect. It was nice. It wasn't like mushy or anything. It had a nice crunch. And I know you guys have had the talk on here about, what do you have on your Jackson County Ville?
Yep.
I'm one of those folks. I just like ketchup. Just ketchup and Ville. You give me, that's just what I like. And I always, sometimes I'll just eat, I like it plain. Yeah. I just like to rip it and just eat it, you know? So
it is definitely a Jackson County thing.
Yeah, no, it was very good. That was my dinner Saturday evening in between the grand finale parade, and then I just kind of stick around because by the time I go and take some of the other pictures I need to take, it's no sense me trying to run home and then turn around and come back because they crown the royalty at 10:30. At night, which is late, and so I didn't get into bed until after midnight.
Oh my!
By the time I got pictures and then wrote something for the radio and everything. So, I also I got a big bag. It was like a $6 bag of kettle corn. I love me some kettle corn. Fantastic. I don't know what booth it was that was up there. Gentleman sold it to me, but I was snacking on it when I was sitting in my car in between when I was waiting. And I feel like I had something else. Oh, I had a crumble cookie. Oh. One of the big ones, chocolate chip, the semi-sweet chocolate chip one. And I told the lady, I said, "You're not selling the minis?" I was like, "What about the minis?" Because they sell minis now.
Okay.
You can get a 3-pack of the minis, and it's just a normal size cookie.
Yeah,
you don't feel as bad. You don't feel as bad eating one or two of those, but you get that big one, and you sit there and you just start. And I will say, I only had half. I didn't eat all of it.
Okay.
Because my little guy likes crumble cookies, so we took the other half home for him.
Okay.
So he did have that. Are you ready? You got my pictures? All right, so let's start with the little miss, the little queen. So this is your little miss, queen and court. How adorable are they?
They are. Oh
so cute. Let me tell you their names here. Let me find my page. So this is your little miss. So these are your 2025 Wellston, Ohio Hill Country Festival Little Miss, Queen and Court. From the left, that's first attendant Isabel Bright. And the center, that's your Little Miss Queen, Blakely Williams. And second attendant there on the far in the pink, that is Aubrey Perkins. So that is your three royalty for the Little Miss that was crowned on Saturday. And if you can go ahead and put the junior miss up there. So this is your junior miss, Queen and Court. Pictured are the 2025 Wellston, Ohio Hill Country Festival junior miss, Queen and Court. From the left, that's first attendant Catherine Mannering. Then you have junior miss Queen Kalia Cardwell. And then second attendant Macy Thompson. So that was your junior court. And then your final set of three, these are your, this is your queens, your big court. Your 2025 Wellston, Ohio Hill Country Queen and Court. From the left, there's first attendant Kate Wilbur, Queen Berlin Denny, and second attendant Olivia Taylor. And I got to tell you a quick story about those three if you'll leave the picture up there. Two of the three have served on court before Jen. Let's see here, Denny, who is the queen this year, or not this year, but for next year, for 2025, she was the 2013 Wellston Coal Festival Little Miss Queen.
Oh, okay.
And then her first attendant there in the pink, that is Wilbur. She was the 2016 Wellston Coal Festival Little Miss second attendant. So those two had served on court before, and you're probably thinking Coal Festival. You just said a Hilco Festival. Well, the festival used to be known as the Wellston Coal
We
Festival.
changed the name a couple of times.
Yeah, so it changed names. It was in 2019, believe it or not. It's been that long ago now that it reflected its original name, which started out as the Ahilco, became the Coal Festival, and now it's the Ahilco again. So it's kind of went through that change over the years.
So I was thinking though, because I know Bren I know her parents. So she's from Jackson, right?
Yeah.
So how does that work?
So the festival was open, I think, to Jackson and Minden counties, just like Jackson County, just like the Apple Festival is open to any contestants. And
okay, that's interesting. I guess I just never
realized
that was a thing.
Yeah, so she is from Jackson, and I think the second attendant's from Jackson as well. Yeah, and then the other little girl, she's from Wellston here, and I had that on here somewhere. Yeah, so Kate is a sophomore at Wellston High School. Berlin, is it Bren? Brennan. I can't say it. Brennan
Miss Denny.
Yeah, she's a senior at Jackson High School, and Olivia is a junior at Jackson High School.
Okay.
So yeah, somebody had talked about, well, I can't believe they're letting other people compete outside of Wellston in this contest. It used to be it was just narrowed to that Wellston City School District. And I can remember that's the way it was for years. And at some point in the past, they opened it up to where it was countywide, and then they kind of added Benton County. And if they wouldn't have done that, this is a good year, a good example year. There were 8 contestants in this. Of the 8, 3 were from Wellston High School. 1 was from Benton County. The other 4 were from Jackson High School.
Okay.
So if they wouldn't have opened it up, they would have only had 3, and then what would have been the point of a contest?
Well, and I think that, I think that our local area fairs and festivals should be just that, like they're our local area. We live in a small area.
Right.
Everybody should be welcome.
And I see Pete's here, and we're running short on time, so I'll wrap up. I mentioned the grand finale parade, and they always have a lot of different folks in that, and one of the things that they judge is the marching bands. So first place went to Christian Life Academy.
Oh, cool.
Second place went to Clay High School, and third place went to Wellston High School.
Okay.
So that is how the judging went on that. And they also do they have the booth there along the walkway there in Pride Park, and they have a decoration contest for that. First place went to the Wellston Hope Church. Second place went to Bundy Elementary, and third place went to the Wellston High School class of 2025. The theme this year was Gold Medal Moments Celebrating Champions of Our Community. And as I've reported before, the theme was kind of a play off the 2024 Summer Olympics.
Makes sense.
So that's a little bit about the festival. Real quick, the Wellston Ahilco Society president, Aaron Dupree, I got to talk to him Saturday evening before the festival kind of wrapped up, and he said that he thanked everybody that came out and supported them all week. They said had a wonderful week, great crowds. He said that there was only Friday evening there where they had a spot of weather with the rain and storms and stuff, and
that's good.
They did get the karaoke contest in Friday.
Did you sing?
I wasn't there.
Pete, did you sing Oklahoma? Busy. Oh, he was busy.
Football.
Oh,
they ended up getting delayed, and they had to play again on Saturday. But anyhow, they said it was a good week, and he did say there was a few more vendors up there this year, and they hope to maybe build on that a little bit more.
That's awesome.
He said they don't want to do a lot all at once because you got to have the people there to kind of support it, so they kind of gradually grow.
Yeah.
But it did feel more. To me, walking through, it just felt like everything was kind of just placed out, and it just felt more full to me. But anyhow, that's a quick report, and we'll turn it over to Pete here.
Well, thank you. Come on over, Pete Wilson. Yeah, and so I was gone all last week, so you're gonna have to fill me in on what the heck's going on.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna follow up Jeremiah's excellent report there with just a little bit more on the Ohio Hill Country Festival. I was there, on Saturday afternoon, so Jeremiah was all rested up for the Saturday night finale. But Adrian, if you would, we want to put up the picture of the current royalty for the Wellston Ohio Hill Country. There they are. They were all dolled up at the Queen's Luncheon. And we don't want these girls not to get attention because they are actually the royalty for the festival. The way they pick the new ones during the festival, and that attracts a lot of attention. But these are the girls that actually reigned over the festival this year.
Yep.
And they will continue to reign until October the 1st. That is when the transition is now. But those girls, from left to right, are First Attendant Kenzie Collins, Queen Katie Ross, and Second Attendant Addison Bowman. And the junior miss, folks, we don't have their picture here to show you, but they are Queen Ava Fenwick, First Attendant Peyton Eby, and Second Attendant Carly McCorkle. And the little miss royalty is Little Miss Queen is Tatum Arthur, the First Attendant Amelia Dupree, and the Second Attendant Lily Manring. All right, one of the nice things that they do at the Ohio Hill Country Festival now, the Wellston Fire Department organizes this, but they get almost all the emergency service agencies to help with this. They get big trucking companies to help, the police departments, law enforcement, of course, the fire departments, but they do what they call touch a truck.
Yes.
You've seen this.
Super
And one
cool.
of the biggest ones that you have in the county is this one that they do at the Ohio Hill Country Festival. And this was on Saturday. And we'll show you a couple pictures from that. Of course, you know our old friend Blue, don't you?
I do.
Blue
There
is
he
there with Officer J, and you can see you can see Blue's got his paw up on Officer J, and you're not going to find a nicer, more well-mannered dog that makes you feel better than Blue. Blue is an English doodle and just a wonderful dog, and that is young Carter Malone, who was one of the many youngsters who got a chance to meet Blue. But there were, other touch a truck opportunities too. That is
Look how
that is Wellston Police Officer Christian Wilkes allowing 2-year-old Azalea Malone a chance to sit in the driver's seat of a Wellston Police Department cruiser.
How cute.
And you can see, I think they both got a kick out of it,
I think so.
as you can see. And then one other picture to show you. This was one of the big trucks that was there. And, you can't see the truck because I wanted to show the kids in the cab. But that's the Matthews kids that are there in that truck. And they are Faith Matthews right there. She's the older girl in the driver's seat. And behind her is Sister Gabby Matthews and also brother Joseph Matthews. And they were having a great time honking that big horn in the cab. But I'm guessing 25 vehicles there. I mean, it was really something to see, quite educational. And if you're a kid, a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Because,
yeah.
a lot of times you see them on the road or in the department, when you can't really get around them or, something's going on and you really can't get around them. But this was a great opportunity. Good PR, I think, for the emergency services agencies, too. So we'll have a lot of coverage in our next Wednesday paper that's coming up. A lot of photos and a lot of news coverage as well. All the results, that we could get and, coverage of the main events, the parade, the swing contest and all that is coming at you. Congratulations to the Ohilco Society, a relatively small group who works their fannies off to make that happen. And you remember, they are all volunteers.
Yes, they are.
We cannot emphasize that enough. Okay, real quickly, we've got to tell you about a couple other things. You were away last week, but on Friday, we did get a lot of rain.
Okay.
Now, here is a misconception or a misimpression or a misassumption. Just because we got a lot of rain, and it was a hard rain, the drought is not over.
God, no. Have you looked at your flowers and your grass?
The burn ban is not over. It was put into effect, Jennifer, while you were away last Wednesday by the county fire departments. They put out a statement. And even though this is not one of the months that where there would normally be a open burning ban, it is put into effect. They have the legal authority to do that if they feel locally it needs to be done. So that was done on Wednesday. Then they put out another statement Friday when they knew it was probably going to rain, that doesn't mean it's over. I mean, I would say that many people thought, oh, okay, no, it's all right to burn. Drought's over. Look at all the rain. We got things greened up a little bit. It's going to take a number of rains, and depending on how many and how hard they are will determine when the drought is over. The burn ban continues until we tell you or the fire departments tell you otherwise. We will tell you because the fire departments tell us.
And Pete, let's just talk about that for 1 second. I mean, that's like no weenie roast, no anything, right? Like, don't start a fire.
Well, I will tell you exactly what is involved in that, because it was Friday evening, too late for us to get in the paper. We did get it online. The state fire marshal ordered an open burning ban for 24 counties, including both Jackson and Vinton. So they were a little bit behind the county fire departments, but they did explain what outdoor burning is. I'll go over that list. Lighting or maintaining a fire of any type at any location, and this includes smoking, including cigarettes or similar devices, or as part of a cooking process, non-electric cooking, regardless of fuel source, using or discharging any type of fireworks, throwing down or discarding lighted or smoldering material, including matches or cigarettes, no campfires, no bonfires, no live fire training events, no flame effects, no sky lanterns, no cold spark machines, or sparks causing devices for recreational purposes. It just about covers everything.
So don't burn anything.
No, that's the safest thing you can do. Just use the stove inside. Real quick on the football. This was interesting, Jennifer, because we had a rainstorm accompanied by lightning, and when there's lightning and outdoor recreation do not go together. Right. Not only are you outside in the open, but there's metal bleachers, which are very good. Right. So what happened was 2 of our local games got in, but there was long delays before they were over with. Wellston game got in, and the Vinton County game in. The Rockets won, by the way, to go 3-0 on the season. They beat Medford 37-14. The Vikings lost to Trimble 18-6. The Jackson game at Wheelersburg was suspended at the end of the first quarter. They were 1 play into the second quarter. They came back and finished Saturday evening at Wheelersburg. Jackson, by the way, won 28-24, scored the winning touchdown with 6 seconds to go.
I knew it was going to be close, but whoa.
Right, and both those teams got spanked by Ironton, and so they had their pride hurt a little bit, and they wanted to win that game bad. And Jackson ended up playing a great second half, came from behind, and won that game. And then Oak Hill, now get this, they went down to Rock Hill. They got about less than half of the game in. They finished it Saturday afternoon. Oak Hill was behind by more than 30 points going into the fourth quarter. They scored 30 points in the fourth quarter and ended up losing by 3 points. Rock Hill 41, Oak Hill 38. I don't know how you can score that many points in a quarter, but somehow they did.
That's crazy.
So the only other thing we want to tell you, a quickie announcement. This comes from the Jackson County WIC office. That's Women's, Infant, and Children's. That's the acronym. That office, which is located next to Save-A-Lot on Huron Street, they're going to have an open house for expectant mothers and current mothers, a meet and greet session tomorrow from 1 to 2 p.m. They'll have a special speaker to speak on lactation and the importance of that for expectant mothers. Informational handouts will be available, question and answer session as well. WIC will have volunteers there to help organize breastfeeding support to prenatal moms in the county and other mothers needing information and advice to successfully meet their breastfeeding goals. So this is very important if you're involved in that sort of thing. Sure. And this is a free opportunity to get some help and information. 1 to 2 p.m. at the Jackson WIC office, 73 Huron Street in Jackson, 1 to 2 p.m. tomorrow. Okay, there we are. Ran 4 minutes over. I am so sorry.
Hey, you are A-okay. Wow, what a fun program we've had today. We've learned all about PawPaws. We've forced Cheryl to eat one.
Yeah, are they kind of like plums?
No, they kind of taste like, they have the texture of like a mango. They taste like mango and banana mixed together.
Okay, well, I'll have to have one myself.
Yes.
I thought I had a PawPaw a long time ago, but I was struggling to come up with exactly what that was like.
They are a unique little boogers. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
And thank you for coming in, letting us know about all the news. Thank you, Adrian, for pushing all the buttons. And we will be back here tomorrow, have kind of a week full of all kind of guests. So as we head into the PawPaw Festival this weekend and then the Apple Festival next weekend, can you believe it?
Boy, it all kind of runs together, doesn't it? And we have some other big events coming up later in the week, too, that deserve attention in their own right. So we will cover that as well.
We'll be letting you know.
All right.
So, all right. Have a great day, everyone. And we'll be right back here tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
From breaking news to heartwarming stories, the Telegram is your ticket to the latest buzz in town.
Read your daily dose of local headlines, sports, and entertainment and more in hand and on paper.
Get a print and digital subscription for only $7.95 per month. Delivered fresh every Wednesday and Saturday.
Visit thetelegramnews.com or call 740-286-3023 today.
Don't just read the news, be a part of it.